Hey everybody, hello ladies and gentlemen, hello true believers. This your boy Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine, aka Vulcan Wolverine 2. I hope all you guys are doing well this morning. I actually did a live stream early this morning from like I think 3 in the morning to it was like 4-hour live stream. Because I was going to visit my grandma this morning. I just got finished visiting my grandma, and I did this long live stream. So before I get started, guys, if you want to go check that out, it's on my secondary channel, Vulcan Wolverine 2, and it's the latest live stream. Or you can go to my main channel, and it's in a playlist, Vulcan Wolverine 2 live streams. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. I still have a month left of my live stream being revoked or whatever on my main channel. So I'm going to be doing some stuff, on my secondary channel, kind of practicing for when I get my live stream back on my main channel. And I thought this to my attackers because they can read your inner voice, and I was like, y'all better kill me before I get my live stream back from my main channel, because when I do, it's gonna be on. It's gonna be on like Donkey Kong, on. I really hope you guys are doing well. I'm taking down my Faraday bunker, and I've been sleeping outside of my Faraday bunker, and I felt a lot better lately because of it. I'm still trying to figure out I have some hypothesis about what was going on. Still have a lot of defenses that have not backfired, but I talked a lot about that on the beginning of the live stream. I did a live stream on my main channel because I knew that I was gonna, I wanted to talk about my own situation and stuff like that. So that's why it's pretty long. And then I went over some videos from TrueStream Media. So if you don't know who TrueStream Media is, Melissa and Aaron Dykes, I think Melissa and Aaron Dykes, go and check out TrueStream Media. They have such good videos pertaining to what we're going through. But I went through some clips from the Minds of Men, and then some clips from the mysterious Eugene organ signal. So go check that out, guys. I don't really want to repeat anything that I did on the live stream besides I just got a new balaclava. This is all the stuff. So I have five brain coats and 5 balaclavas, which I've ordered. They're expensive. The brain coats I think are $50. The balaclavas are like 70. I think it's like $60. They're really expensive. Over the past couple of years, I've built up layers of the less EMF headgear and then the less EMF hat. It really helps. It has not backfired on me. So you can't buy them all at once because they're expensive, but if you want to start building a defense for your head, which is your head and your neck are the most important things, because our attackers are basically creating it, well, in some protocols, because they deliver this directed energy in a lot of different ways, but in one of the protocols they are creating electromagnetic fields around the head, and then it's basically tapping into our vestibular system through nerves in our eyes or nerves in the ear, or it's just straight up stimulating nerves under the scalp to then send signals to the brain and the nervous system. Now they do things other ways, but I'm sure of this one. I'm sure that they do it that way too. Probably heterodyning 2 different beams to then create an electromagnetic field in certain parts around the head. And then I kind of want to show you all this just in case you don't go to the live stream, but please go to my secondary channel and give me subscribe to it and check out my live stream, because I do still have a month. I still do have a month over there, and I put on some pretty good live streams, if I do say so myself. Future Knowledge said it was my most intelligent live stream yet, so thank you so much, Future Knowledge. and we were just hanging out, you know, and I was going through some very, very important, like TrueStream Media. Those guys are true journalists, and there are still a lot of true journalists out there. The guys from TrueStream Media, they are targeted. They don't talk about it a lot, and they're going about this in a different way than coming onto videos and saying, hey, I'm a targeted individual. But they do a lot of like news that pertains directly to what we're going through, and a neuro society, and transhumanism and things like that. I did also want to show y'all this because it was pretty cheap. So at Less EMF, they have these glasses. Check them out. So they have these glasses that shield your eyes. And, you know, for my attackers, like I guess it was about maybe 2 years ago when I was living in the other condo. And then kind of before that, I would go to sleep and I would wake up and it'd feel like my eyes, like in my forehead, all the way through to like the middle of my head had been like cooked. And I think I'm realizing now that what my attackers were doing is they were trying to create a magnetic field to get attuned with the nerves in my eyes. So remember that the nerves from your eyes and your ears are they're part of your vestibular system. Your vestibular system are certain nerves in areas of the brain that account for your senses, like sight, taste, touch, sound. So our attackers are basically with electromagnetic frequencies, and this is just one protocol. I don't know, there's some, you know, Brian too says that they do, you know, a bidirectional stream of energy that goes straight through to nanotechnology that's past the blood-brain barrier. I do also think that is true, but one protocol is to create fields around the head too, and to basically tap into the vestibular system. So, you know, I'll go over that. Like, I'll do a video kind of going over what the vestibular system entails and how, you know, basically it's like they're using our white matter tracks that run deep inside the brain. They're sending certain signals that actually stimulate those white matter tracks in deep inside of our brain, all the way down our spine, to do things to stimulate pain, to stimulate the vagus nerve, and so through remote neural manipulation, create pain all throughout the body, to any area of the body, or to entrain certain organs and things like that. It gets pretty complicated, and I've got to learn a lot more about it. But, you know, I know y'all get tired of me saying this, but you know, we've got to make hypothesis and then get more concrete data to either affirm or change those hypotheses. I'm pretty upset. Well, it's like, you know, I'm kind of upset that my Faraday bunker was getting turned against me by my attackers. But I am happy because what I said on the last video too, the last year and a half, or the last like year, I haven't been getting hit with external microwaves as much. So like when I'm sitting out during the day and stuff, it was pretty mild, and I was wondering why my attackers were doing that. But the remote neural manipulation and like my emotions and my memory were just getting so attacked, and it was like almost the last year has been the hardest for me as a targeted individual because of how hardcore the remote neural manipulation was. And I really thought that it had done things that were permanent injuries to my brain because of the way that I felt. I've done the most videos during that time because it's my personality that when I'm in fight or flight mode, I go, I need to do something. I need to make a video. I got to do, you know, so actually the most productive time, but the worst feeling time for me. So it's like it sucks that happened. I got a couple of good months, probably like probably less time than I think, where the Faraday bunker did work and my attackers had not, you know, reconfigured the attacks. I talk more about that on the live stream, you know, but I feel a little bit better mentally, like my memory and my emotions not being so depressed, and I was having weird, just just really bad stuff. I kind of go into it on the live stream, so y'all go check it out there. Yeah, just go check out that video. But right now on this video, guys, on my main channel, I really want to go through this article. I've been wanting to go through it for a while, and I kind of I've been putting it off and going through other things, but I kind of want to, read this article and talk about it a little bit, because I feel like I can today. I feel like I can do some stuff. Now, before I start, I realized just now, I just now realized there's a lot of red in my video. I got the Flash poster, then this curtain on my door, and then my shirt is a Flash shirt. If that triggers you as a targeted individual, I'm sorry about that. I just noticed it now. I'm not trying to trigger any targeted individuals. I am not a perp. So that's just by chance, and I'll try and vary up the colors. I'll try and vary the colors a little bit more, but I just noticed it now. So I'm sorry if I've triggered you or anything like that. All right, let's go ahead and read this article. Lots of red in my room right now. Okay, so this is from an MIT technology review, which it's from 2009. It's all the way back from 2009, and the article is called "Targeting the Brain with Sound Waves. Ultrasound might provide a new, non-invasive way to control brain activity," by Emily Singer. Now, keep in mind when I'm reading this is stuff that's being put out to the public. So this is stuff that's being put out to the public as new medical advancements, and really, the things that the military-industrial complex are doing and experimenting with go way past this. They go way beyond, and they do, they'll talk about it. They'll talk about it in this article. So let me start reading the article, and they talk about how dangerous microwaves can be to the brain. But with us, when they're experimenting on us, they don't care. They use microwaves anyway, knowing that there's going to be a lot of damage and things that they probably have learned now. But when they started using remote microwaves on people, did not know what the lasting effects would be. Okay, so ultrasound waves, currently used in medicine for prenatal scans and other diagnostic purposes, could one day be used as a non-invasive way to control brain activity. Control brain activity, right? And we know as targeted individuals, we get remote neural manipulated with electromagnetic frequencies, microwave being, radio waves and microwave being, two of the big ones. They do probably also use ultrasound. So ultrasound waves currently used in medicine for prenatal scans and other diagnostic purposes could one day be used as a non-invasive way to control brain activity. Over the past 2 years, scientists have begun experimenting with the external hits have been a lot worse since I've stopped sleeping in my Faraday bunker. But in my mind, my emotions and my memory are better. I'm not sure my attackers could be playing a long psyops game with me, but it doesn't feel that way. It feels like something, when I was getting into my Faraday bunker, they were doing something. I talk about that on my live stream, so I don't want to go into it right now. Over the past 2 years, scientists have begun experimenting with low-frequency, low-intensity ultrasound that can penetrate the skull and activate or silence brain cells. Researchers hope that the technology could provide an alternative to more invasive techniques such as deep brain stimulation and vagus nerve stimulation, which are used to treat a growing number of neurological disorders. Where's the rest of the article? Oh, I gotta expand the article. I remember doing that last time. Okay, continue reading. Okay, once people have found out what they can do with DBS and vagus nerve stimulation, we think we can unplug those devices and control activity from outside the body. And as targeted individuals, we know they're already doing that. They already have been doing that for a long time, not really caring about is it safe. You know, is it safe? Is it going to cause long-lasting damage? They don't care, because we're supposed to be terminal experiments for remote neuroweapons, for microwaves, for, you know, a lot of things on the electromagnetic spectrum. Once people have found out what they can do with DBS and vagus nerve stimulation, we think we can unplug those devices and control activity from outside the body, says William or Jamie Tyler, a neuroscientist at Arizona State University in Tempe. Tyler has started a company called Sensonics to commercialize the technology. Devices designed to treat brain disorders have grown in popularity in recent years. DBS, which is used to treat Parkinson's disease, dystonia, and obsessive compulsive disorder, delivers an electrical jolt to the brain via an implanted electrode. Because of its invasive nature, however, DBS is only used for severe cases that are untreatable with medication. A less invasive technique is transcranial magnetic stimulation, which I'm about to get that transcranial magnetic stimulation device, because that's a technique that our attackers use. That's how they create these electromagnetic fields around our head, by either heterodyning or creating a magnetic field. You know, I think it's mostly by heterodyning, you know, combining two frequencies to create that magnetic field. But there could be another way that they actually create the magnetic fields remotely. And it's weird, because I sleep in that leather chair. When I sleep in my leather chair, it seems like it's disrupting something they're doing, and it would make a lot of sense, because my head's laying on leather, and if they're trying to create a magnetic field around my head, that leather is getting in the way, and so I have really good sleep on that leather chair. So there's a lot of other stuff that kind of that lead my hypothesis about the creating magnetic fields around our head like that. A less invasive technique is transcranial magnetic stimulation, in which an electrical coil placed over the head generates a magnetic field. Transcranial magnetic stimulation, in which an electrical coil placed over the head generates a magnetic field that passes through the skull and excites neurons in the brain below. TMS is used to treat clinical depression, but it can only target the more superficial parts of the brain. With ultrasound, we have a much better spatial focus than with DBS, says Tyler, and unlike TMS, we can get anywhere in the brain. You see, so they're using things like that on us. Like, they're not just using transcranial stimulation. That's one of the protocols with their integrated weapon system, but it doesn't get to the deep parts of the brain. So we know that our attackers are using things on the ultrasound is on the electromagnetic spectrum, but they're trying to make it less dangerous for medical advancements. I mean, that's why we've got to understand that experimentation done on us, some of this is being trickled out into the medical community too. There's no justification for what's happening to us. They can't justify any of the good stuff that comes out. You cannot non-consensually experiment on citizens who have done nothing wrong in a terminal way. It's immoral, no matter what the outcomes are. Period. I mean, period. That's all I have to say about that. With ultrasound, we have a much better spatial focus than with DBS, says Tyler. And unlike TMS, we can get anywhere in the brain. Ultrasound, consisting of sound waves with a frequency above 20 kilohertz, has been used for decades in medicine to image muscle, organs, and fetuses. In the past 5 years, better tools for focusing ultrasound energy have enabled it as an ablation tool. Surgeons can now use high-intensity, high-frequency ultrasound to essentially burn away uterine fibroids. HIFU is also in clinical testing for treating brain tumors, breast tumors, and prostate cancer. These same tools are now allowing scientists to apply ultrasound to control the brain, an idea that has actually been around for decades, and it's been used, and they use things other than ultrasound too. So we know that as target individuals. The people who do this to us know that. A lot of the public is becoming aware more and more are becoming aware. Better ultrasound transducers, which generate the acoustic waves, enable more precise focusing of ultrasound energy. And magnetic resonance imaging, MRI, used in conjunction with ultrasound, allows surgeons to target specific areas of the body more precisely. The ability to marry focused ultrasound with MR, magnetic resonance guidance, is exceedingly powerful. Where do you think they learn that? Where do you think they're learning all this for non-targeted individuals? They're experimenting on people out in the public, and they're experimenting on people in mental institutions, and they're experimenting on people in prison, and they're, you know, I guess maybe they have some voluntary experimentation, you know, in hospitals maybe for these things, but they're getting data off of what they're doing to us, and it's being trickled out into the medical field in certain hospitals, and especially like MIT. So I want to read that part again because that's pretty important. The ability to marry focused ultrasound with magnetic resonance guidance is exceedingly powerful, says Neil Castle, a neurosurgeon at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville and chairman of the Focused Ultrasound Surgery Foundation, a nonprofit based in Charlottesville that was founded to develop new applications for focused ultrasound. One of the challenges using ultrasound to target the brain is figuring out how to get the sound waves through the skull in a controlled manner. Typically, ultrasound operates in the megahertz to gigahertz range frequencies that are fine for passing through soft tissue but would liquefy bone. Wow. As bone absorbs the energy of the acoustic wave, it heats up. You see, so the way a wave like this, like a frequency, the wider it is like this, the cooler it is. But when it tightens, when these things go like this, when the waveform tightens, it creates more heat, and that thermal energy is what scientists, well, we know it, and the people hitting us, the thermal energy is what interacts with the brain. The thermal, the heat that the frequency produces is what allows them to get signals to the brain and the nervous system and back. And it'll say that in this article, you know, as I go down. Okay, so researchers at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston have found that an ultrasound frequency of less than 1 megahertz can do the trick, but with the trade-off. The lower the frequency, the more difficult it is to focus the energy on a particular point in the brain. In the past year, however, scientists have had some success in solving this trade-off. Detailed images of the skull generated via CT scan and MRI can help scientists calculate the best way to focus the sound waves. It says, oh, my ears just got really hot. Says Sung-Shik Yu, a neuroscientist at Brigham and Women's and Harvard Medical School. In as yet unpublished work, Yu and his colleagues have demonstrated that low-frequency, low-intensity ultrasound can successfully suppress visual activity in rabbits' brains. Yu and his colleagues have demonstrated that low-frequency, low-intensity ultrasound can successfully suppress visual activity in rabbits' brains, as well as selectively trigger activity in the motor cortex. So this is really important, and this is just what is coming out to the public in 2009. Just what they're putting out about medical advancements, where some of these medical advancements are actually trickling out from non-consensual human experimentation with neuroweapons, with using like specific focused MRI, specific focused ultrasound with magnetic resonance imaging, you know, and then other parts of the electromagnetic spectrum. That gets pretty complicated in my head. Let's see. So we are also looking at the ability to modulate hormones or neurotransmitters. They're looking at that, but the military-industrial complex and these contractors and hospitals involved in, you know, psychosurgery and putting stemosevers in people's brains, and also from remote microwaves and remote neuroweapons. You know, they already know that they can modulate hormones and neurotransmitters. You know, they've been doing it for a long time, which may have application for psychiatric disorders, obesity, and addiction, says you. In a paper published last year in the journal PLOS1, Tyler demonstrated that low-frequency, low-intensity ultrasound can activate channels that sit in the membrane of nerve cells in a slice of brain tissue, triggering the cells to send an electrical message through the neural circuit. He has since been able to use ultrasound to stimulate the motor cortex and trigger movement in live mice. This work has not yet been published. Researchers hope to co-opt instruments developed by HIFU for this new application. Several instrument companies have developed phased arrays of ultrasound transducers. Phased arrays of ultrasound transducers, which allow precise targeting of ultrasound energy. Now, where did they develop the idea to have some phased arrays to actually transduce electromagnetic energy? Where did they learn that? They learned that through non-consensual experimentation on people around the world, on civilians around the world with remote neuroweapons, and also probably neuroweapons and frequencies up close with stuff actually put on the brain. Well, obviously, because like if you watch The Minds of Men and know about the history of psychosurgery, they were doing it in ways where you know, putting things directly on the brain that would emit microwave or emit voltage and shock to the brain. Okay, where was I? Which allow precise targeting of ultrasound energy, and which are currently being tested for removal of brain tumors. Depending on individual anatomy of the skull, you can program the ultrasound equipment to fire individual elements to deliver a well-characterized beam in terms of location and size that can be tailor-made to each patient, says you. Because focused ultrasound is already used extensively, researchers are optimistic that it will not face any major hurdles in moving toward clinical testing. For neurologists and neurosurgeons, it's a well-established technique, says Tyler. The safety margins are well known, adds Castle. I think it will actually be easier to get approval than it was for HIFU, because the pressure of the focused ultrasound is less pressure than the brain gets from transcranial Doppler, which is transcranial radar. It's like transcranial radio waves, which is radio waves are part of the electromagnetic spectrum. A diagnostic device used to look at vessels in the head after stroke and hemorrhage. Castle says that the foundation is most interested in using low-intensity, low-frequency ultrasound for surgical planning. In epilepsy patients, surgeons could use the technology to temporarily silence a piece of the brain tissue thought to be responsible for triggering seizures, thus confirming the correct localization, and then use HIFU to ablate that piece of tissue. Tyler is most interested in using focused ultrasound for treating Parkinson's disease. Well, that's great, because they'll create a lot of Parkinson's disease by remote neuroweapons torture, and then they'll have that advancement and you know, trickling out to the medical community. They can treat the Parkinson's disease that they're causing. That's awesome. I'm being very sarcastic. Since it's not invasive, we might be able to treat patients much earlier in progression, he says. Right now, people who get DBS are the worst case patients. While initial devices would likely resemble a smaller version of MRI machines, treating Parkinson's patients would require a wearable or implantable device capable of delivering continual stimulation. And I guess that's what they're releasing to the public, that, you know, that they need some kind of device to deliver the continual stimulation, because they don't want people to know that this can just be done with a unique brainwave signature. Tyler's team is working on flexible ultrasound transducers that could be implanted on top of the skull or formulated into a cap. and this was 2009. They may have actually released that they can do it in the medical community because they've been doing remote microwave stimulation of the brain for way before 2009, just way before. But they may actually have some articles where they've admitted that they can do it in the medical community now without any kind of devices in the body. It's not yet clear how ultrasound triggers electrical activity in neurons, but some believe that it is through thermal energy generated by sound waves. So it is not yet clear how ultrasound triggers electrical activity in neurons, but some believe that it is through thermal energy generated by sound waves. So the thermal energy is what interacts with the brain and the nervous system. So think about, the microwaves that we're hit with as targeted individuals. The thermal energy is what's creating that chain reaction so that remote neural manipulation works. Okay, Tyler, however, says he has evidence that the neurons are activated through mechanical energy. So maybe he's saying it's mechanical energy other than thermal energy. I think it's thermal energy because of what's happening to us. Because of how microwaves are used mainly. Excuse me. Excuse me. Microwaves are used mainly in our remote neural manipulation, like electromagnetic frequencies that are closer to microwave than anything else. Being used to do most of the remote neural manipulation, the bidirectional stream of energy. Previous research has indeed shown that the neuron channels that control electrical activity in the brain can be activated with mechanical pressure. What we think is happening is some kind of microcavitational effect, such as radiation or shear strain, which affect the channels that control neural activity, he says. Let me see if there's any more of the article. I'm going to play this. Let's see. What is this? Wait, let me see what that. I guess that is ultrasound affecting areas of the brain. Doesn't say what that is. Can I get a description of that? I think that's ultrasound hitting neural networks in the brain, basically. Okay, guys. Yeah, I just wanted to read that article because I've been meaning to, and it just, it just gives us a little bit more concrete data on things that are trickling out into the medical community. About things that they are willing to tell the public. And I thought it was fitting since, Robert Duncan did his presentation at MIT on Wednesday. It was Wednesday, right? I keep thinking it's Friday for some reason. I was at my grandma's and I kept going, it's Friday, the weekend's coming up. And she's like, it's Saturday. It's Saturday. But yeah, I just wanted to show that, guys. I just wanted to read that article. It's probably not ultrasound. They probably do utilize ultrasound with these integrated weapon systems, but they're mainly using like the electromagnetic spectrum, from radio waves to microwaves, and things like that. I think that's it. I just wanted to read that article, guys. But please do go check out that live stream because I kind of like we hung out for a while. And it would be cool, like in the last month, if you guys, like if you check out my live streams and you do enjoy them and you want to come, in the chat while I'm doing live streams, I would, I'd love to have you guys there. I really appreciate everybody who's come to, support that secondary channel. I had no choice, because my live stream was taken away on my main channel, so I can't do live streams on the main channel. But there's sometimes when I want to hang out and go through information and good information that other channels are putting out to promote them, especially TruthStream Media. You know, so check it out. You know, give me a subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I did talk about that. John left a great comment on my main channel about giving targeted individual channels thumbs up. It's very, very important to getting us on different pages, like getting us up in the algorithms basically on YouTube. And I'm gonna do better on that, because a lot of times I'll only like videos if I'm like, oh, that's a great video, and you know, even if I like somebody, like I like their channel, I will only like certain videos that they do. And he talks about being stingy with the like button, which, like, I'm doing that. I'm being stingy with the like button on targeted individuals' channels that I watch all the time, because I'm like, okay, well, I'm giving them a view, so that should do it, right? That's getting them up there. I'm giving them a view and stuff like that. But it's really important to target individuals' information that you really appreciate. Give them a thumbs up so we can get all these target individual channels higher up in the YouTube algorithms, get more subscribers coming in, and get this information out there. Now this, it's like, you know, we can discuss this a little more, because it's not exactly, you know, it's probably something, like, I would say, like, in all probability, like, I can't say 100%, I can't be sure, but I would say in all probability these advancements are coming out of what's happening and being done to people like us, and like people, targeted individuals who are non-consensually experimented on throughout, like, since World War II, since like the 1950s, really starting up in the 1960s and 1970s, and then continuing to build, and then they're mass manufacturing these integrated weapon systems and things like that. I don't know it when in there they became mass manufactured. MK Ultra, they could have had specific machines built for the CIA and the people who did the sub projects at certain hospitals and stuff. They might not have been manufactured by contractors yet, but then somewhere in there, somewhere like 1970s, 1980s, these weapons platforms became mass manufactured. I'm not really sure about that when they started being mass manufactured, but somewhere in there they started to be mass manufactured. Still certain equipment was used as early as like 1952 for Project Moonstruck, but then there was a, you know, what do you call it? A memory's doing better, but sometimes it's just like, boom. A progression, like a progression, you know, throughout the years. So please, guys, if you have not, like, go check out my live stream, because I go through the minds of men. Like, I take some pretty good clips and some highlights, but the whole thing is important. It just shows the whole history of psychosurgery and experimentation on the human brain, and non-consensual human experimentation on the human brain, like the whole, like pretty much the whole history of it. They didn't say anything about Project Moonstruck. Man, those guys are journalists. They are awesome, and there's like 2 million views on the Minds of Men, and they're selling, you know, copies of the documentary. So they're on our side. Melissa and Aaron are on our side. I think that they are targeted, and I think that's why they focus in on, like, in all of their videos. A lot of their videos are about transhumanism, about experimentation with the brain, about how frequencies affect the brain. So please go to TrueStream Media, check out their videos, give them a subscribe. Can you give somebody a subscribe? I don't think you can. Get subscribed to them. Subscribe to them, because they're putting out some great information, and they're great journalists. So we want their channel way up in the algorithm, so people can be introduced to, like, how evil this stuff is, and they can see how it progressed throughout history, and they can see things that are happening in our society today. You know, how it's not just people that are directly targeted like us who are being behaviorally modified, or they're trying to behaviorally modify us, but really the whole population of the world. There's systems being built, and they're, you know, smart cities and surveillance and everything to behaviorally modify, you know, and social media to behaviorally modify people, like Facebook, Twitter, blah blah, YouTube. you know. But we've got to use these platforms to get this information out, and we need to do it. We need to go ahead and do it before the censorship gets like, it's already off the charts. It's already bad, but we've got to kind of just keep using it as much as we can, because it may be completely gone one day, or us being able to speak out on it may be completely gone one day. I hope not. I'm seeing things. I know that we can turn things around. I know things can get better for us. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money and power behind, you know, transhumanism and all this garbage and controlling people. And a lot of people are making money off of it. So that's why it's so difficult. But we can make a change. We can make a difference. All you guys can make a difference. And like the more that I'm telling you, the more that we change the public's perception about this, the more probability that some of those things like class action lawsuits and you know, rallies getting on local news and mainstream news, those big things that are going to bring us on home, the more that we change people's perceptions and just kind of infiltrate and infect. We've got, I mean, infiltrate's a bad word. Infect their system. We've got to infect their system. As targeted individuals, as the good guys, we've got to infect these evil systems. You know, infect them back. Put true information out there. Also, guys, I have a Twitter page. I decided to do a Twitter page just to, I guess I'll check in there. I probably won't be using it too much because, like I said, like social media really is, it's a lot of behavioral control. So I try and just make my videos, you know, go in and check some things out, but not live on Facebook or live on YouTube. I guess I do kind of live on YouTube. But I do have a Twitter account, just Vulcan Wolverine, you know, Vulcan space Wolverine, and I'm putting videos out on it. I put that 5-minute. I put a 5-minute that 5-minute testimonial, and I sent mine to Shad by email. But guys, please do that. If you're a targeted individual, please send a 5-minute or less testimonial to Shad. And I put that in the description of the video where I did the 5-minute testimonial. I wasn't expecting, like, before I end this video, like I was just putting that out as an example. Like I was just putting that out as an example for you guys, for any other targeted individuals that wanted to, you know, make their own. Just kind of like, oh well, that's how he's doing it. So I, you know, give you an idea of what I was doing. And the response, like I started to cry. I started to cry when I saw the response, because some people had just so much like love and such warm-hearted things to say, and that was just, it's really surprising. Like all the target individual community, I know guys, I know we have like infiltration, I know that there's COINTELPRO, but from like real targeted individuals, I'm always like surprised in such a positive way. And I see such smart and strong and courageous people. I just want to say that positive thing because I know there's a lot of COINTELPRO. I know there's a lot of infiltration. I know there's a lot of lying. But really try and like focus down and hold on to the good things and the good people and the good TIs and the positive stuff. When I do that, a lot of those things that maybe we can't change right now, maybe we just got to keep running upfield, you know, do our best. I'm definitely like, if you think somebody's a perp or something, tell people. Try and deal with it as best you can, but all those things, they're a mess, you know, they're a mess, and we just got to get further upfield or upstream for some of those things to kind of work themselves out better. Those things that it's just really hard to deal with. Like it's easy to get information out about this on a YouTube video and say, you know, but it's hard, like, you know, sometimes it's hard trusting people and stuff like that. And I know, because like I'm like that too. It's like hard for me to trust anybody. I was talking on my live stream and I was saying I wish that it was like The Thing, you know, where they like took some blood from everybody and then they tested that blood so they could tell which ones were real human beings and which one was the thing. I mean, I know that like perpetrators are technically human, technically. I was saying how I wish that existed, and I don't want to talk about it too much, because I'm figuring it out, guys. It's this infiltration on my channel, in my comment sections. You got a lot of you guys have probably noticed that. I don't want to talk about it too much, but I'm gonna go ahead and if those guys, if you just leave a comment about my videos, and then they attack you, I'm gonna erase those. I'm gonna erase those comments. They're anonymous, so they're a tar baby. I'm not gonna let that go on long. I may not erase all the comments that they're doing right now, but their time is short. And it's just there's no when people are anonymous and they're obviously trying to discredit, and they're not coming onto the channel to actually have discourse, and they're gonna stay anonymous. There's no point in like sitting there and having this insult war, and especially when they've crossed the line. They've crossed the line. You know, Tom Green, like, he's been on my channel for a long time making comments and saying, "Oh, you're schizophrenic," but at least he was not like this evil guy. He kind of crossed the line, but some of these guys, they're crossing the line and they're attacking people on my channel. One side of me, you know, one part of me, I don't give a shit about them. I'll sit there all day and just make fun of them. And I know a lot of you guys are like that. You could give a shit. You know, you'll just insult them. Who cares? But I've got to think about targeted individuals that are, you know, that maybe are new targeted individuals, and like people saying things to them hurts them, and it makes things harder for them. All the, you know, microwave attacks, the external torture, and the remote neural manipulation. So I am thinking about that, guys. Don't think that I'm just like letting this go on. I like how it shows what kind of monsters they are, but that's gonna end real soon. It's gonna end real soon. This is our channel. It's like my channel, and then you guys get to decide what we do here, and y'all leave comments. Definitely, if there's a non-targeted individual and you want to leave a comment on my channel and you have questions about this, and you're just like, I just don't understand, I don't get this, like I have this question about it, definitely leave a comment. You know, I'm not thrilled that people still think that way, right? I'm not like, oh, that's great, there's a whole bunch of people who don't understand this and, you know, think that we're mentally ill or something. But if somebody is legitimately trying to have discourse about this, because we have to talk about it, the only way we can move is forward, because it's a truth in society. It's truly happening. So there's no going back. There's these people who, like, these people who are paid, like, it's really a kind of a cool thing, guys. These people who are paid to discredit us and to say we're mentally ill, there's no them like getting what they want. These people are trying to buy time. They're trying to distract us and get us insulting them and buying time, and they get very violent and angry and shitty because their little teat's going to be knocked out of their mouth, because their teat is raping, you know, electronically raping families and women and microwaving people, and they know that that's coming to an end. They know that this can't go on forever. They get very angry when good information comes out. So let's understand what that is. They're buying time. They know. They're not like, okay, we're going to put this genie back in the bottle, right? Where all these targeted individuals are telling the truth about something that's really happening in society. We're going to come on this channel and we're going to discredit them, and they're all going to go away. And this isn't going to be, we're going to create a reality where this isn't true. That doesn't happen. This is reality. We are being targeted. There are remote directed energy weapon systems and integrated weapon systems that are hitting us. So those guys are distractions. Maybe if you know, a lot of I'm not going to say, I'm just not going to give him the attention of saying his name, but one of those guys has personal information about me. I know I gave my last name out, and he can get a lot of information like that, but some of the things he said, it was personal information that I've never revealed to anybody. So one of those guys is for sure 100% a paid agent, like somebody who gets paid to discredit. Now, could he go to a group of just regular trolls and say, hey, let's go troll those targeted individuals? Sure, he could. Sure, he could. Did he? I don't know. Maybe the other people, or maybe a couple of them are just him. Maybe a couple of them, maybe 3 or 4 of them are just him, and then he's got somebody else too. But I'm noticing that. I'm noticing chaos in my comment sections. That's what they're trying to do. You know, if you don't talk to them, and if you I promise you this, if you're just coming on the channel to make a comment and they attack you, they go after you when you're just making a comment on my channel, their comment will be erased. So you don't have to get into it with them. I will erase those comments. They've gone way past the line. They've attacked people and like violently insulted them. And it's just, they're anonymous, so it's a tar baby. It's a tar baby. They're worthless. They're trying to get in our way. The only way that we can do this is go for the main head of the Hydra and keep going upfield. Those people are just worthless scumbags who want to distract us because they realize this is coming to an end. They realize that we're getting the information out. So I've noticed it. I just want to let you guys who watch my channel, maybe you come and you're like, wow, his comment sections, these jerks are in it or whatever. I notice it, and I'm going to handle it, okay? I'll just go ahead and tell you, like, I'm just going to start erasing their comments. It's gone too far. It was a little bit, it was funny, and okay, I get a little bit, I let off steam by insulting them back, but I got to think about targeted individuals who are maybe just targeted, and they don't want to leave a comment because of all that BS. I've got to think about that. It's not that I'm like, that I think that, you know, I could sit there and make them look like jerks all day long because they're idiots. Like anybody, like one of the guys says he has a family, like a wife and kids. If he has a wife and kids and he's trying to keep this excuse me, if he's trying to keep this crap going, this targeting going, and he has a wife and kids and he's trying to create a world where they can be targeted and not even have their own individual free will, you know, in the world to come, then he is a bigger moron. And if he says that he's an ex-soldier in the Iraq war, and his brothers in arms are being tortured, his brothers in arms are being tortured by neuroweapons, and he thinks he's the bee's knees, like handling business, some kind of, you know, he knows who I'm talking about. Let me tell you, sir, you are not a soldier. You are a terrorist and a straight-up murderer and a coward at that. And you're off of my channel. You crossed the line. Your boys crossed the line. And now you're gone. You're gone. No more. No more distractions. No more distractions. Just helping people in TIs getting out of this mess that people like you without honor created. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But that's going to be dealt with. So it's just going to be dealt with. You know, they're anonymous people. It's tar baby central, and it's on purpose to buy time, to get it, you know, to make our channels look like they're chaotic so people don't take the information seriously. They're jokes. They're not human. They're soulless. And if the guy has a family, and I'm talking about Chief Handler, I'll just say it. If he has a family and a wife and a daughter, and he is trying to distract us from stopping non-consensual torture programs running in this country and other countries, he can stick it. He can frickin' stick it. And anybody that does this and thinks they're a soldier, like my attackers, if they think they're soldiers, boy is the terminology, is the word soldier means nothing nowadays. I'll tell you guys what. This will be the last thing, and I'll go ahead and end the video, guys. I have to do this, but now they're gone. They're gone. If they leave comments on this video, gone. Anybody that wants to do real discourse, fine. But if I'm sitting there and I'm 100% that you are looking at information that proves this, and it's your job to discredit it because you think some weaker genetics are just being washed away on the world, some eugenics satanic bullcrap, you're gone. You're gone. You're gone. I wanted to say this. Targeted individuals, just targeted individuals, targeted survivors, people who are surviving this non-consensual human experimentation are more soldiers than you or your little rat pack buddies or anybody who signs up with tyranny to hurt innocent citizens in any country, you have given up any right to be called a soldier or to say that you have honor, valor, or courage. So thank you for your service way back when you fought in Iraq, but now you are not a soldier anymore. You are a criminal and a terrorist. Criminal and a terrorist. And you're trying to distract people from saving lives and stopping evil. Alright guys, I'm done. I guess I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do it. King Kong has nothing on me. I didn't want to do it, but they're gone. I just want to tell y'all they're gone. I was going to try what I was going to do. I'll tell y'all what I was going to do, but I can't. Like, I'm too honest. Like, I'm too honest and I can't do it. I wish I could have followed through. What I was going to start doing is I was going to start deleting them, just deleting their comments, and then when they bitched about it, I was going to say, oh, you sound delusional, you sound crazy, and just give them a little piece of their own medicine that they give us. When we're giving out concrete information, we're going through the hardest, most torturous, awful thing that any citizens on the earth have ever gone through, and they spit at us and call us crazy and try and derail people to not pay attention to it. Alright guys, I'm going to stop the video. I'm not really mad. It's just I can't let it go on. I can't let it go on. I know a lot of you guys are like, oh man, we don't care, we'll insult them. We got to think about every targeted individual. And I got to think about targeted individuals. And I've also targeted individuals come into my channel and just wanting to leave a comment. You know, just wanting to leave a comment in peace and learn about this and empower themselves. And then they're like, without any kind of provocation, these like packs of animals are like attacking them when they just left a comment like, hey Kyle, like the video, and they're like, why would you like this mentally insane person's video, and just like getting all up, you know, getting up all on them. It's like raping us in the comments. They're rapists, you know. They're just born to well, I don't know if they were born to be rapists. They decided to be rapists and torturers and terrorists and evil people at some time in their life. Alright guys, that's about it. I guess what I was gonna do is just, you know, delete their videos and not say anything, and then when they were like complaining about it, I'd just like make fun of them and call them insane, because I want to give them a taste of their own medicine. But you know, I thought about it, and it's like they're coming on anonymously. You know, the trolls and the perps come on anonymously. They're never gonna say their real names. They probably the guy who says he has a wife and children is like connected to this program or something, and just is like, you know, can never ever get married because women are so repulsed by how he smells and never takes baths or showers ever. I mean, they can just lie and say they're whoever. So it's worthless to insult them, and they're really stupid. Like anybody who chooses evil thinks that they're buying a seat at the table. Like any of these lower down, even the people microwaving me and your people who are microwaving you, other targeted individuals, they're not buying a seat at any table. As a matter of fact, what they're doing is they're putting themselves and their families in the most danger that anybody could put their families into, because I didn't have any pertinent information. I didn't have any information about targeted neuro weapons or integrated directed energy weapon systems. These people using them have a lot of information about what's going on. They think they're safe after that. After using these weapons, they're the first to go. The first to go. Alright, I'm really going to end it now. I'm sorry about that rant, guys, but I just wanted to let y'all know what's going on. So if you're, you know, getting on... Oh, God, an hour. I really did want to make this short. If you're agitated by all that going on in the chat room, it's not going to be going on anymore. It's done. It's done. Alright guys, but I do appreciate anybody who, like, you know, insulted them to stick up for me. I appreciate it. I liked your insults to them. I think you can say anything to them because they're evil. And seriously, if that guy actually, if Chief Handler did fight in the Iraq War and was a soldier and is now just doing this as a trolling effort, I seriously doubt. No, I have a lot of evidence that that is completely false, and that he is a community-placed agent to come on and discredit us and go to every targeted individual's channel. And like, I said something in comments to him, and 1 minute later he responded. Like, I mean, it was like that, because it's his job. It's his job. Non-targeted individuals realize that that's going on. Realize that this issue is so sensitive national security wise because of how sick our society is, that victims are being tortured, survivors are being tortured and surveilled, and remote neural manipulated. Our brains and our nervous systems being manipulated, and to discredit us they get ex-military guys with contractors or DHS Fusion Center, all these organizations, like a pyramid of organizations, to like do things online to discredit the topic. That exists for a lot of things. So if you're a non-targeted individual, it sounds paranoid. All this sounds paranoid. But our society is so sick now. You've got to listen to targeted individuals. You have to. It's for all of us. It's not just a group. This is beta testing, and they're trying to bring in a neuro society. All these scientists talk about a singularity. Like, a singularity with cybernetics means basically transhumanism. When the singularity comes, that's when humans go extinct. That's when millions of years of evolution of organic human life is done. And then the machines and AI are in charge. We devolve and fall off. So this is a lot. The stakes are pretty high with this topic and what these creeps in the pyramidal structure are doing. I'm not making I'm just a pyramid, you know. All right, guys. I like it. I got it out. But all right, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Please go check out that live stream. I meant to make this short. I'm gonna try and do some concise videos. I'm still being targeted, but my mind feels a little bit better, and I'm just thank you, God. Thank you, God. And I'm gonna try and enjoy that. I'm gonna try and do more. Hopefully, it's just not my attacker psyoping me. We'll see. We'll see. I love you guys. Stay as strong as you can. Defend as well as you can. I'm going to be trying out that transcranial stimulation device soon. I have it between two that I want. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and at least by Monday, I'll go ahead and order it. All right, guys. I love y'all. I hope you're doing well. I just hope you're staying strong. All right, guys. I'll see you on the next one.